Your life purpose involves working with crystals. You have a connection to the elemental realm, such as fairies and crystals. Since Epona is a patroness of horses, this card may signify a message about a horse or horses. I'm a Sagittarian. I have always loved horses. I'm a centaur. I've always just loved horses and related to horses. So perhaps it's a message for someone out there about your connection to animals or horses. Epona is the fairy goddess, the fairy queen goddess who oversees and protects horses. Temples were built in her honor during Roman and Celtic eras, where horses were essential to everyday life. Epona is also a protector of the environment and nature spirits. And what a perfect day on the solstice to invite in this beautiful ascended master, or to help you communicate with nature, fairies, crystals, or the environment. So perhaps this card found you today because you have been asking, how can I better connect with any of these things? And crystals is just another way, another element of the cosmos, of the atmosphere, of the stars, of Earth, to connect to, and the energy of the being that is embedded in that crystal. So thank you, Ascended Masters. Communicating freely. I communicate from the depths of my being. I communicate from the depths of my being. Allow the truth of your soul to be felt and heard. It is an act of power. And the warrior of the heart, it takes a warrior of the heart to communicate freely. Be willing to stand tall and address people from the center of your being. Know that you can heal yourself and others through communication. This isn't the time to step back. Rather, it is time to step forward and share from your heart. And again, the message I was receiving all along this evening, sharing from our hearts. The universe wants you to know you are a natural teacher. And if you're listening to this, you are a natural teacher. And you have the ability to empower and enrich the lives of others through your words. And here we're talking about words, communication, symbols, speaking freely. Additionally, step into your role as a teacher and leader. Additionally, if there is something that you have held back, now is your opportunity to bring this truth to the light of day. Communication can restore trust and mend lifelong wounds. Take a risk. Speak from your soul with clarity and authenticity, even if it's not easy to do. And that was even though it was one of the easiest things for me to do, it was still maybe in some ways one of the most challenging things for me to do, was to speak my light languages freely from my heart and communicate freely and shapeshift into that warrior of the heart, so that I can also bring forth crystalline energy and nature spirit energy, connections to the native and nature spirits and the other realms, the fairy realms, all of the other realms. So I have a visitor walking around down here. I can hear it walking around. I think it's a deer. I'll have to try to look with the lantern. So there we have it. Yes, it must be. So I'm surrounded by nature here, nature spirits, and so it's very exciting. Additionally, If there is something that you've held back, now is your opportunity to bring this truth to the light of day. Communication can restore trust and mend lifelong wounds. Take a risk, speak from your soul with clarity and authenticity, even if it's not easy to do. If there is an unspoken darkness that lies heavily upon you, now is the time to unburden yourself. If there's someone who you love whom you haven't told, share your feelings. Communication can heal, free, and transform your life. Questions to ask yourself. Is there anyone I need to communicate with? Is there some type of communication that I have been withholding? What might I need to do to step into my role as a teacher and leader? Thank you, Denise Lynn, and that gateway for showing us how to, and look at even this color, the blue chakra, the throat chakra, and all of the colors, because when we speak from the truth, we speak our truth, when we communicate freely, we are literally speaking our whole rainbow. Our whole rainbow comes out, which is why you can see colors when we speak galactic light languages, because it's the soul speaking freely. And so the sound, that's why they call it the sound of color. The emissaries of the light collective said, there is a sound to color, and there's color to sound. And so this is what they're showing here, is the color of sound, and that when we speak and communicate freely, we're flowing from our heart center. We're flowing freely and speaking from all of our souls, all of our crystalline, all of the facets of that crystal, and all of the different parts of us, all of the different realms of us, all of the different, our ET selves, our celestial selves, our etheric selves, our selves that are nothing but misty colors. And these are what we would call our future selves and our past selves. So the clouds shape-shifting. And again, look, the colors, the blues, the greens, the throat chakra, the sky opening up freely, speaking freely, letting ourselves just shape-shift into the beings that are the warriors from the heart, that speak from the heart. And the clouds, what do the clouds teach us? Funny, because I turned to the crystals page in this oracle deck as well. That's pretty funny, which is the page directly after clouds. Shape-shifting. When tiny droplets of water or frozen crystals are surrounded by billions of other droplets or crystals, a cloud is formed. And aren't we all that? Aren't we clouds of billions of little crystals forming one beautiful shape-shifting cloud like a human collective? And oftentimes when I'm connecting to a collective, it feels like I'm connecting to this cloud of billions of beings, because that's how it feels, like little light fireflies making one big giant light. That's how it feels sometimes. Each of these tiny droplets diffuse and scatter light so that the tops of clouds are white, then fade to gray toward the base. The nature of cloud formations affect our moods as well as the temperature on the ground and in the air, which is very, very true. A cloudy day, our head's in the clouds, we feel cloudy. When we don't feel clear, we use cloudy as a metaphor. We're not feeling clear today, so we're feeling cloudy. If you're not thinking straight, or your parents would say, "Oh, get your head out of the clouds," and so it makes the temperature cooler on the ground. It makes us cooler. It can make us colder. It can make us gloomy. Their shape, movement, and coloration tell us what weather to expect in the near future. And they nourish our visual hunger during breathtaking sunrises and sunsets. And once again, I got to experience, of which I never, ever, ever tire of, is a magnificent sunset. And even when it's cloudy, as the light diffuses through the clouds and changes color, it reminds me that everything is a sound of color. Everything is color. There is everything that emits color emits sound. And everything that emits sound has color. It's all connected, and we are all connected. It's why our inner vortexes are associated with the individual colors, which also just happen to be all the same colors in the rainbow and in the prism, in the actual prism of light that we do see for what we are capable of seeing in our visible spectrum. Most of us have had an opportunity at one time or another to notice the shapes and forms clouds take as they drift gently or boldly across the sky, constantly shifting and changing, adjusting themselves to the requirements of their nature. When we take adjusting themselves to the requirements of their nature and how, we need to learn to be more shapeshifters in that respect. They are saying to me right now about adjusting yourself to the requirements of your nature. And this changes moment by moment, because as you change and grow, and as we evolve and as we ascend, and ascend meaning raising our vibrational frequency. That's what ascending means, is changing our vibrational frequency by way of how we think, how we process thought, how we act upon those thought processes, how we are willing to shapeshift out of belief systems that are not serving us in this now. And that's what that is about, adjusting ourselves to the requirements of your nature right now. If you're hot, you do something to cool yourself off, and vice versa. And so whether you're going into the summer months and you need to cool off, or whether you're going into the winter months and you need to get warm, either way, you're adjusting to you're adjusting yourself to the requirements of your current nature. When we take time to simply observe, we can see the cloud people. Images that are an elegant collaboration between nature and our imagination. And that's what this is all about, in knowing that if you want to see a spaceship, or if you're thinking about bunnies and butterflies, you're going to manifest that in the clouds. And you're also going to manifest information. You're going to manifest the cloud people. There is a cloud collective, you guys. There is a cloud collective of energy. They are energy. And they, like you, have decided that this time around, they want to be a cloud, and they want to be part of the cloud collective. They want to understand what it's like to be the energy of a cloud. And how being a cloud interacts with us humans and other species. Wow. In both subtle and more dramatic ways, you can shapeshift by your choice of clothing, of course, hairstyle, adornments, and even mannerisms. How many people have changed their mannerisms, their hair color, their hairstyle, makeup, the way you can completely change, you can completely go incognito just by changing all of that, changing the way you talk. By adjusting these along with your internal attitude, you can actually display different personas. Of course we can. Don't we all display different personas day by day by day in all the roles we play? We play the mother, the son, the daughter, the father, the employee, the employer. We're always playing all these different roles every day and offering these different facets of our crystalline selves and offering these different personas. By adjusting these along with your internal attitude, you can actually display different personas. When you experiment with these variations of self-expression that are not how you ordinarily present yourself, Others will react to you depending on the degree in which your persona contrasts or contrasts with the one that they are most familiar with. Be like the clouds as you try out different forms, stretching your limits at times, willing to move and adjust as necessary. Lift your head up, square your shoulders, and stand tall, that your chest and heart open to the world. And once again, opening our hearts to the world. And I did an amazing yoga session today it was for neck and shoulders, and it was all about just engaging the heart and the breathing and the crown chakra, and just, opening the chest. And so I was squaring the shoulders and really just breathing that in and standing tall. So really feeling that energy today. And I did all this in it too. You may feel, okay, lift your head up, square your shoulders, and stand tall, such that your chest and heart open to the world. And note how this feels. You may feel vulnerable at first, but stay with it. Then let your shoulders fall forward slightly, pull your chest inward an inch or two, and let your head drop a little. Observe how this feels. And I was even guided to do some guided little kind of light language sort of exercises like these. So this is very validating for me right now too, to share with all of you. Experiment with contracting your aura, which is your energy field. Then expand it out. So contract it, and then like all the colors of your aura, picture yourself contracting it. Then expand it out as far as you comfortably can. By this kind of shape-shifting, you can consciously choose your expression into the world. Just remember who you are at the core. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being with me and all of my little floating friends here in this way, in this now, for this amazing solstice. This is 2017. This is the age of Aquarius. This is the time when we no longer have to hide behind any permission slip. You don't need permission to use a permission slip. You don't need permission to act upon one, and you don't need permission to drop one. You are your own authority, as we lovingly heard last night from our Ascended Masters. And it's about being multidimensional. It's about being a warrior of the heart. It's about not being afraid to be yourself, to stand up and let your heart shine, and be a nature spirit, be a native spirit, walk through the gateway, find the earth magic, and understand and see yourselves. Oh, and I've been getting the tones in my ears this whole time. I know that I'm connecting to my spirit guides. I've been hearing the Pleiadians. I've been hearing, I've been hearing so many different entities this evening. So it's all real. Your imagination is the key. It's the door. It's the gateway. And 2017 is about, and the solstice, it's about shape shifting and allowing yourself to shift into every shape that you are every moment, and not being afraid to experiment. And there may come a day when I don't do this anymore or that anymore, but it doesn't matter, because everything is perfect in perfect timing for not only me and you, but everyone involved. So everything's perfect. And So for me right now, I'm going to go adjust my environment, because even with my screens here, there's ways that they can get in. So I'm being joined by my little floating flying friends here. So I'm probably I'm definitely going to leave this, I think, in 2 parts today, because I thank you all for watching both halves and sticking it out for the rest of the reading, and for all your love and sharings and comments and all the new subscribers and all the new energy and all the new love and all the old love and all your constant love and all your trust and your sessions. And I so want to get more into addressing people's questions and comments. So that's something else that I've really been looking forward to working on. So as the solstice brings me into my own shape shifting, I thank you all for being here and shifting with me in this amazing timeline shift. And be the light, speak your own language of light, whatever that is, whatever you do that brings you joy. And everything is spiritual. Everything you do that brings you joy is your spirit speaking. So whatever you do, do it with gusto, do it with heart, do it with exuberance, do it with passion, do it with consciousness and conscientiousness. I was always told I was very conscientious, meaning I put my heart and my soul and my conscious into what I was doing every moment to the best of my ability. And that doesn't mean that is always going to be the same either, moment by moment. But we are doing what we can do to the best of our ability, moment by moment. So when we say being true to ourselves, that's what that means. When we say doing our work honestly, that's what that means. Just doing it to the best of your ability, moment by moment, and accepting yourself and loving yourself no matter who you are in that moment, but doing that the same for others. To know that you're equal and they're equal and we're all having an experience, and that they are also doing the best they can in their moment. And we can't judge their moment any more than they can judge ours, because we're all having a collective experience, but we're having it from each of us from a very unique perspective, because we all are different sides of source, the crystal of source. We're all different sides of that crystal, so we all just shine from a different spot, but we're all the same crystal. And we all have a different perspective, yet we can shine on each other's and make each other's brighter. So thank you, all of you, for sharing this way with this me and all the me's in this now. Because I'm many me's and we're all many me's in every moment. So I love you all. Thank you. Lakiana itosha korosete. Satasa olo alakisha noto yoroshinia wale la setashnia akorani la setashnia. I love you. I love you. I love you. Mahala. Namaste.